Hello and welcome to Hidden Magic Tarot. I'm Nancy, and this video is part of my 2026 deck collection series. I'm sharing my entire collection of Tarot, Oracle, Lenormand, and playing cards. This video will have all of my indie Oracle decks. I will put links to these decks in the description. If they are still available, there will be a link for them. It's really important that we support these creators instead of getting counterfeit versions, so I will provide links for these. All right, let's get started. Let's start with my obvious obsession with Oracles by Kimberly San. These are the Spread Machine decks. Now, I believe Kimberly has renamed these decks, but I think the cards themselves are the same. These are Oracle cards that you can use either as an Oracle or to create spreads for other cards. And this is the main deck and then 2 expansion packs. We'll start with the main deck. I really enjoy this Oracle. I think it's really fun for putting together spreads, and Kimberly has put together some really nice spreads within the guidebook as well, like really interesting ways to use it. So highly recommend reading that. These are separated into essentially suits, but I don't have them separated right now, but the color coding would help you put them together as suits. There's the backs, very lovely. So if I were to use this just as a regular Oracle, I would pull a card to try to get at what kind of is nagging at me, what my issue around a certain thing is. Like, what do I need? I need courage. What is causing me issues? Limiting beliefs. What should I look at to learn more about myself, right? So these could answer a lot of questions for me. But my favorite way to do this is actually to use it face up and choose intentionally the cards I'm going to work with. And you'll see here what I mean by suits. They're color coded too. So there's shadow work, there's light work. Here's another light work and a shadow work. Here's 2 success, right? So you can kind of have these different focus areas to deal with, and then you can also pull, so here's focus areas, and then you can pull things that have to do with, different areas around that. So you can use this to build spreads. And so I pretty much just use it face up and choose these cards to help me develop spreads that I will use with tarot. These expansion packs work much the same way. One specifically about change and one is quests. So if you are really into gaming, this is a really fun one. So this is the quest. There's the hero, the lore, ultimate move, all kinds of things that you would find in games. And again, has these sort of suits, right? Right now we're in the character suit, and then there's the status. Skip through the status, and then there's equipment, and you see each of them has these series of questions underneath to help you really access what that keyword means. Anyway, you get the idea. And this is the change expansion pack. Functions much the same way as the other ones. You get a guidebook with both the expansion packs as well. And this also has suits. This is the shadow work. I love working with these 2 as just journal prompts. You don't have to pull out another deck to use these as a spread. Okay, and then there's a call to action, which I just think these are wonderful. And here, instead of questions, it's validate, to acknowledge, to recognize, to deem worthy, to give importance to something. So the way I might use this is, what do I need to validate? And then I pull out a tarot deck and pull something from there. That's the call to action. Let me just show you one more. Okay, and here's flux. So this is lots of things. Actually, I should probably read what Kimberly says about it, but it's all sorts of things that may affect you, right? It could be outside things, could be things you take on for yourself. This is a great deck for people who are really into using cards for self, enlightenment, growth, learning about yourself. Okay, those are the Spread Machine decks from Kimberly San, and I will in the description, I'll put the updated name and the link to these in the description. I also have from the same creator a line Heart. And yes, I have 2 different versions because I got the original version And then I got her updated one that was a little bit more easier to read. This is the original one, which is these lovely pastel colors and then this white font, right typeset color. The letters are white. And then we have same cards, but slightly easier to read, for me anyway. The colors are slightly different, right? If I pull some of them back, they're not exactly the same, but they're very similar, still that kind of pastel. But the font, the color of the writing makes a big difference for my old eyes. When I was younger, I think I could have read this one pretty easily with the white. But now that I'm older, I really do need this higher contrast version of the cards. I really appreciate that Kim put out this version of this deck. This deck has gotten me through some really tough times, I have to be honest. I used it for my weekly self-love readings for a long time. And it's gotten me through some really difficult times in the world and in my personal life. This is a beautiful, beautiful deck. You'll notice these little hearts. The idea there is you put your thumb on it and then you can welcome that energy, that affirmation into your life. I often use this in conjunction with tarot. So I'll pull one of these, get the message, and then I'll use a tarot deck to further investigate and learn more about it. So for example, if I pulled this one, you're exactly where you need to be in life. I might ask my tarot, how can I slow down and enjoy this place? What about it is the right place? What can I learn from this place? What can I love in this place? How can I bloom in this place? So I'd use this as the anchor to the reading essentially, and then pull tarot cards to tell me a little bit more about it and maybe make an action plan with it. But this, I'll tell you, this deck, it's phenomenal. And Kim has mentioned that she might be making more decks like this where, you know, this one is Align Heart, that she may be making more decks like Align Mind or Body or Spirit, that sort of thing. So I'm going to watch out for that because I will scoop them up so fast. I just love this deck and I really enjoy everything Kim puts out. So again, that's Align Heart from Kimberly San. I have these two decks by Murphy Pines. There's I'm Here and This Is Me. And I ordered this deck, this was a Kickstarter, and it was back when I was like really into Oracle. And it took a long time to get to me. And by the time it got to me, I wasn't really reading Oracle cards very much anymore. So I have to say I'm not very familiar with it, but I do love it. I love Oracle decks that help me to go deeper into myself and get to know myself better. And I think that this is definitely a deck to help with that. This would be a great deck for like a daily draw. It would kind of give you something to think about. It might even be something just to pull out as a journal prompt. I think the art is really sweet and these little prompts. I love an Oracle deck that has a nice expansive keyword on it. And then these extra little this extra line here is also really nice. And I also really like that it doesn't really interfere with the art. I think the artist did a really good job of putting the titles into the art in a way. I think they sort of blend together really nicely. It's very sweet art, very nice deck. I also like an Oracle deck that's a little bit smaller. So this is maybe even smaller than standard tarot size or very close to standard tarot size, which I really like. A lot of Oracle decks get really big, which is hard for me to handle. I have fairly small hands, and so really big decks, I just really struggle to handle them. So I really like an Oracle that's on the smaller size. Isn't this sweet art? I just think it's really, I love these figures that Murphy has throughout. And then there's also this expansion pack, and I'll be honest, I'm not really sure what to do with it, but I will show it to you. And that is called This Is Me. So same creator, This Is Me, Tell the Story of You. Now there's no guidebook with this one. There was with the other one. And I kind of wonder if maybe there's an online guidebook that I need to find. But so this deck goes through the zodiac signs. So there's one for each of us. Okay, you get the idea there. And then there's also, there's planets. So So not just the signs, but also planets. And then there are elements. And then this is Enneagram, I think. So we've got Enneagram numbers. And then this is flowers. So I have not found a way to use this deck yet. I would love to know in the comments, maybe, do you have this deck? Have you found a way to use it? Do you have an idea of how to use it? This is me from Murphy Pines. This is my all-time favorite Oracle deck. I adore this deck. It is so wonderful. It's called Poesis. I have had this for quite a while now, and I love working with it. This deck has a lot of things I love in general in an Oracle deck. Great expansive keywords, so I can use it without having to go to the guidebook. I don't have to memorize anything in order to be able to use it. I adore the art. I love it so much. It's a big old deck, so it's got lots of possible words. It's just a tremendously useful deck for me. Oh, I love this one. Silent. No art at all. Oh, just so good. The art is really fantastic. I think it really pulls up a lot of emotions in me, actually, for as simple as it is. I really think that the art matches the keywords really well. And it's just such a wide variety of keywords. There's so much you can do with it. Now, even though I did say you don't need the guidebook, you really don't. It has a wonderful guidebook. You can either access it online or buy it separately. Each of these cards has a poem that goes with it. So the guidebook is a series of poems that each card has its own poem. And they are wonderful poems. So this deck has so much going for it. It's got these wonderful keywords, big old deck, lots of cards. The art is fantastic, an amazing representation of the words, so you can go without the guidebook if you want. It's a great size for my hands. I love a deck that's the size of tarot. The guidebook is amazing if you want to use it. It has so much going for it. It has rose petal finish, and I have to fight this deck like crazy. It clumps together so much. I have done so many things to try to destroy that finish. I have my ways. I've got a couple things I like to do. They just have not worked. I mean, they've improved it, but I would love this deck in a mini. Oh my gosh, I would go crazy for a mini, and I would love it in a different cardstock with a different finish, because I can't tell you how much I love this deck. I think maybe I've had this for 3 or 4 years. I've shuffled it so many times. I've done everything I can to try to get it to be more usable. I've been rather kind of abusive to these cards, as you can see, and I still struggle with it. But this is a fabulous deck, and I've gotten amazing readings using this, both as like a daily draw, but especially I'll pull a card from this deck and then dive deeper into it with tarot. It's just, as you can tell, I love it so, so much. This is Poesis. This is the Mercury Oracle. This was also a Kickstarter, and this is a super cool deck. Comes with a nice guidebook to help you through. It's really a whole system. So this definitely needs some study on my part. I just haven't gotten into it. It's one of the things I want to do. Oh, here's the backs. One of the things I want to do is really get into this deck. But it's still another one that you can just use the keywords or the key phrase on the card. You don't have to use the guidebook. And for me, I don't buy oracles that don't have keywords that I can access. I don't really want to have to memorize every oracle deck, and I really like to, be able to use these paired with tarot. But I think that these, and they're verbs, which I love, like these are great for advice. And again, I don't know this deck very well. It's one that I need to dive into. Even though I've had it for a long time, I don't know, maybe I feel a little intimidated to get started, but I love that it's these sort of instructions, right? It's telling you something to do. This might be a great one for a daily draw. Maybe I should try that. or when I'm stuck, when I'm not quite sure what to do, because it's, instead of being like a noun, it is a verb phrase telling you what to do. So I could use this oracle as either a daily draw for like a daily focus for myself, or I could use it for, you know, putting together a story, like steps I need to do to get myself out of a sticky situation, maybe. I think this might also be really good for self-awareness, self-growth, really good for decision-making. And I just am gaga for this art. I think it's fantastic. I do struggle with square decks. I think maybe I'm not going to get any more square decks because they're a little bit hard for me to shuffle. It's not the worst thing in the world, but I know myself now, and I know that if I have to fight with a deck, I am not going to read with it very much. But boy, seeing this now, I'm so much more aware that I don't need to memorize the system that the creator put together for it. I could just use this as it is, and I really like that it's verbs. Well, I'm really glad I'm making this video because now I'm really excited to work with this. Oh yeah, and this art, the colors, isn't it so wonderful? It is a little bit bigger, but I think even with my small hands, I can use it. So once again, this is the Mercury Oracle. This is the True Love Oracle. And I got this one to match with my Pulp Tarot. Let me actually grab that. So this deck here is the Pulp Tarot. When I saw this Kickstarter for the True Love Oracle, I thought these would look really great together. And I think they do. They are a similar concept, right? It's the kind of pulp novel cover. And I think they look pretty good together. And it's called the True Love Oracle, but I don't think it's only for like true love readings or love readings. It's got a nice keyword and then also a little phrase. So this is the healer. Healing energies are available to you now, whether physical, emotional, or spiritual. Embrace the healing process. Just do one more. Cleansing. It's time for emotional release. Purify your space, mind, and heart. Make room for new energy. So you can see that even though it's called True Love Oracle, it's not just like a love reading. You could use this for anything. And, you know, I'm a broken record, but because I use my oracle along with tarot, I kind of bought this to be a pair with my pulp. And I think it's a really nice oracle. Some of the images are a little stretched, but overall I really like it. And I think this creator also has like a sci-fi one and a horror one, so similar kind of concepts. I think it looks really cool. And I really like that it's got the keyword. I'm often not one for phrases on oracles, but the phrases don't feel like they detract from the image. I think he did a good job of putting it in so it looks like it's part of the book cover, right? So it's intuition, and then down here, trust your inner voice. It just looks like it's part of the cover. So you don't even have to read it if you don't want to. If you just want to focus on that keyword, you could, because I think he's done a really good job integrating it. Yeah, look at all these different, some of them look like, you know, romance novel covers, but it's really focused on that sort of pulp novel cover. That's the True Love Oracle. This is the Reclaim Oracle. You may have seen this one. I think this is pretty popular with folks on TarotTube. These are the backs. This is a really powerful deck. This is not the most recent edition, but I think the one before that. So I think the most recent one has some expanded additional cards. Maybe took out a few of these and put in some new ones. But as you can see, these are feelings. And very, I don't know, simple kind of figure with the light pink and black. I think this is just a tremendous deck. I get an emotional response when I see these images. I think this artist has done a beautiful job. And I use this in a very particular way. I actually have a video about 3 ways I use this deck. I don't usually draw from this deck with it face down. I use this to help identify my emotions. I am a person who really struggles to identify my emotions. Like I can tell when I'm emotional, I can feel that I'm having feelings, but I often can't really tell what feeling I'm having, and I struggle to go past that initial feeling and get down to what's at the root of it. And this deck is really helpful for me with that. So I use it face up, and I go through it and I find the emotion that I'm feeling. I find the kind of constellations of motions I'm feeling, and then I use it to work through them. So I'll use it in conjunction with tarot, with my journaling, to try to help myself through these feelings, to understand them, to let them pass through me instead of get stuck in me. I find this to be a very powerful deck, but I don't use it like my other decks. Again, that is Reclaim. This little deck is called InTAROTgation. And I am calling it an oracle deck, though I'm not sure it meets that. It's really just a deck that helps you come up with questions to ask your tarot. I think these would also work with oracle decks, but it's specifically made for tarot. And it's really fun to just pull a card and give you the question of the day. Some of these don't really work very well for me, like maybe this one, like what surprise is coming my way, because I don't read for the future like that. So I would probably just skip that one if it came up for me. But for the most part, these questions work really well for how I do my tarot practice. Like this one with how do I express myself creatively? I love using cards to work with my inner artist. Something like this about attracting more abundance, right? These are questions about how to make change in your life, how to empower yourself. So these are great journal questions. They're really fun to use with tarot or with oracle. Like I could see myself using this along with maybe my Poesis deck. So this is just a sweet little deck. It's just questions, InTAROTgation. And that's it. That is all of my indie oracle decks. I'm also doing my mass market oracle, all of my tarot decks, my Lenormand, and my playing cards. So stop back to check out the other videos. Like this video if you liked it. Please subscribe. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know in the comments below if you've got these decks or if you've got ideas for how to use them. And thanks for watching. Bye!